Alright, today I'm going to be doing my picks for the UFC Perth fight night, Della Maddalena versus Carlos Prates. This card to me doesn't look quite as high level as last week's, but it'll probably be more entertaining. There's a lot of people who throw hands on the card, a couple cool prospects, and the main event is a banger matchup. So let's go ahead and get into the picks. The first fight on the card is Dom Marfan versus Cody Steele, and Dom Marfan is aggressive, quick, and a pressure striker, especially in the clinch, and he has a pretty good ground game. He's very willing to trade and has some solid straight punches and kicks. Cody Steele is coming off a loss to Rong Zhu where they won fight of the night, but Rong Zhu pieced up Steele pretty bad. He's a push-forward fighter who looks for big overhands, hooks, and knees to set up his takedowns. I think this should be a competitive fight, but I think Dom Marfan gets the win. Cody Steele seems more powerful, but Dom Marfan looks to be the better striker and overall fighter. Next fight on the card is Jonathan Mikhailov versus Themba Germbo, and Mikhailov is a tall southpaw fighter who tries to utilize his size and reach, keep the range, and then throw a lot of looping punches in the pocket. Mikhailov has good kicks, solid feints, and a surprisingly good submission game. He was kind of getting pieced up by Elliott, but pulled off a rear naked choke. Germbo is a decent wrestler, but doesn't stay active enough on the ground. His striking is powerful but sloppy, and he leaves himself open a lot. And in his last fight against Jeremiah Wells, it seemed like he started to gas out in the second round. I have Mikhailov getting this one done, most likely by piecing up Germbo on the feet and stuffing the takedowns. Or I think he could work in his own wrestling as well and get a late submission if Germbo gasses out again. Next fight is Ben Johnston versus Wes Schultz, and Ben Johnston is a former Muay Thai champion who has solid quick leg kicks and body kicks, but is pretty predictable on the feet. His submission game is actually what he's leaned on to get 4 of his 5 finishes so far in his MMA career. He is very, very unproven in MMA. Like, come on, man. This is literally the guy he fought just 2 fights ago. Wes Schultz is coming off a knockout loss to D. Penis, who is a great prospect and now 9-1 with 9 finishes, so not that bad of a loss. Schultz is primarily a submission artist who uses unpredictable striking, especially with his kicks. I think Wes Schultz is clearly the more proven and better overall MMA fighter. I think Wes Schultz will be able to handle his own on the feet, and if it goes to the ground, I think he has the advantage there as well, so I got Wes Schultz in this one. Next fight is Colby Thickness versus Vince Morales, and Colby Thickness is 1-1 in the UFC. He debuted against Ilya's brother Alexandre Topuria and lost a unanimous 30-27 decision, where he pretty much got outmatched everywhere. But he did rebound nicely with the win over Musasa. He's a grapple-heavy, takedown-heavy control fighter, but doesn't seem to have much power on the feet or the ground, really. Morales has lost 3 decisions in a row, but all to very good fighters. He's a pretty good boxer, a really good wrestler, and extremely durable and tough to get out of there. Morales is obviously the vet in this matchup, and I think it's time for him to pull out that good old vet decision. I don't see Thickness being able to finish Morales, which means he would have to go out and outstrike him and out-wrestle him for 15 minutes. And Thickness is not Elijah Smith or Rosas Jr., so I don't see that happening, so give me Morales. Next fight is Jacob Malcoun versus Gerald Meshart, and I'm not going to take much time on this one. Jacob Malcoun is 5-3 in the UFC on a 2-fight win streak. He's younger, a very aggressive, high-paced wrestler with solid hands. And Meshart is 38 and on a 4-fight losing streak. There's obviously a chance GM3 catches Malcoun on the ground and submits him, but I don't see that happening, and I got Malcoun. Next fight is Junior Taffa versus Kevin Christian, and Taffa pretty much goes out there, throws hands, solid elbows and knees, kind of just spams punches and sees what happens. The ground game and takedown defense has gotten a little bit better over the years, but is still lacking and has always been lacking. Kevin Christian lost his debut after getting cracked on the feet and then submitted by Billy Elikana, but Elikana looks pretty good. Christian is 6'7", but struggles to fully utilize his height and reach. He has solid kicks, but the hands are just okay. He has 9 wins, all by finish, 4 by knockout, and 5 by submission. I really think this fight only goes one of 2 ways. I think Taffa goes out, knocks Christian down early and gets him out of there, or Taffa gasses out going into the second and gets wrestle-fucked and or submitted. But if I had to make a pick, fuck it, man. Give me Taffa. Next fight is Rousston versus Robert Bichek, and I like Rousston a lot. He's 14-3 with 13 wins by finish. He's a talented Muay Thai style kickboxer who uses his size and reach very well. He has good jabs, hooks, and knees, but does keep his hands down a little bit too much. Bichek is 1-1 in the UFC after his knockout win over Brad Tavares, but has only fought twice since July 2023. He lost to Ihor Potieria in his debut, who has lost 3 fights in a row since then. He has power in his hands and tries to catch people in the pocket with his boxing, but that's about it. I think there's a chance Bichek catches Rousston with his hands down, but I believe Rousston will be able to get this one done. He's younger, been more active, and seems like the better fighter. And to open the main card, we have Tuivasa versus Sutherland. And I'll keep it a buck with y'all. When it was Tuivasa versus Sean Sharaf, I was like, alright, yeah, Ty's back. He's gonna get one. But now that Sharaf broke his nose and has been replaced with Sutherland, I'm a lot more worried about the matchup. We know Ty, he's your classic heavyweight Samoan brawler, but he is on a 6-fight losing streak. Sutherland is 0-2 to start his UFC career after being heel hooked by Walter Walker and then knocked out by Brando Perich. In the Perich fight, he was looking a little dangerous early on, but Perich was able to weather it and get him out of there. Sutherland has okay wrestling, but is also pretty much just a heavyweight brawler. I really do think this is a tougher matchup for Ty, but I'm still going to go with Tuivasa getting the knockout. And if he doesn't get this one, man, then yeah, it's probably time to start boxing influencers or something, man. I don't know. And the next fight is Shamil, the real meal deal Gaziev versus Brando Perich. And this should low-key be a banger at heavyweight. Gaziev is a very solid wrestler and striker at heavyweight who has good power and racks up control time against the fence and on the ground. He's 14-2 overall with 9 knockouts and 3 submissions, but is coming off a knockout loss to Waldo Cortez Acosta that was pretty bad. Perich is very new in his MMA career. He's only 6-1 with 5 knockouts and a submission. He's 2-0 in the UFC with knockout wins over Alicia Ellison and Sutherland. He's a very strong, very big, powerful heavyweight with good hands and wrestling. He also does very good work in the clinch with his knees and elbows. And I do think this will be a banger for as long as it goes, and it's a very tough test for Brando Perich, but after that Waldo fight, I don't have that much faith in Gaziev's chin. Perich is huge and throws bombs, so as long as he can stuff a takedown or two, I think he'll win this one. And for the featured fight of the night, we have Tim Elliott versus Steve Ersk. Elliott is a very awkward fighter who uses a lot of feints and weird movements. He throws a lot of shit at you like flying knees, high kicks, and just keeps you guessing. He's not super dangerous on the feet, but he's hard to read and get comfortable against. He's also very sound on the ground, which he used in a big upset win over Kaya Sakura in his last fight. And Steve Ersk is pretty much the opposite of Tim Elliott on the feet. He's very technical, very patient, and a good counter striker. He has a good jab, a good submission game, and is an above average wrestler when he uses it. He's coming off a win over Ode Osborne, but he almost got finished twice in that first round and got turned into a wrestler, and he lost 3 fights in a row before that. I think this will be a more competitive fight than people think, especially early, but I think Ersk should win a clear decision. I just don't see Tim Elliott being able to pull off an out-of-nowhere submission on Ersk like he did on Asakura. And Ersk did struggle on the feet against Osborne, but that's because Osborne throws heat. Against Tim, there will be a lot less of a concern about that. So give me Steve Ersk in this one. And the co-main event is Darius versus salkilld. And man, I don't want to say this shit is already a wraps, but this shit might already be a wraps. Beneil did kind of sneak in a dominating performance over Moicano where he was really able to get his grappling off, but besides that win, he's 1-3 in his last 4 fights and he got finished in all 3 of those fights. Darius is a very high-level grappler and dangerous in top control, but the defensive striking has really been a struggle recently, and I'm just worried that the chin is gone. salkilld is 4-0 in the UFC and 11-1 overall. He has clean striking, is a strong grappler, and has 8 finishes through 11 fights. He's coming off a rear naked choke over Jamie Malarkey, and before that a head kick knockout over Nasrat Haqparast. I think there's about a 5% chance Beneil pulls off that crafty vet submission, but I just can't pick against the momentum of salkilld. He's looked really good recently, so you gotta go Quillen Salkilld in this one. And for the main event, we have Della Maddalena versus Carlos Prates. Prates is 12-1 in his last 13 fights with 12 knockouts, and he's coming off a knockout win over Leon Edwards. Prates is a precision striker who's a walk a man down type of fighter, smoke a cig, then hit you with the left hand down the pipe type of fighter. He uses an active long guard mixed with long strikes to pick people apart at range and stay safe. He has crazy power in his hands and in his knees. And he did lose to Ian Gary recently, but almost got him out of there in the 5th round. Prates was outstruck for the majority of that fight against Gary, but it's important to note that Ian Gary and JDM fight very differently. Ian Gary is a huge welterweight standing at 6'3" and has a 75-inch reach, which is why he was able to stay at range and attack Prates from the outside with long strikes. JDM, on the other hand, is only 5'11" with a 73-inch reach, while Prates is 6'1" with a 78-inch reach. JDM is an aggressive pressure boxer who does great work in the pocket. He has a classic boxing-heavy stance and he throws high-volume combinations. He has solid head movement and striking defense, but he can get caught sitting on the middle line sometimes. I think this is a very tough matchup for JDM, and my heart wants to go JDM, but I think Carlos Prates gets this one done. JDM's style is a pressure, high-volume, come-forward type of style, and I think that is an awful matchup for someone like Prates. Prates uses his range great, has great counters, devastating power, and has the height and reach advantage on JDM. And again, JDM won't be able to do to Prates what Ian Gary did to him. They're just not the same fighter. I love JDM, but this is going to be very tough for him. And JDM is a very tough, scrappy fighter, but Prates has a great chin on him and is very patient, and I don't see him getting caught in a brawl with JDM. I see Prates popping him with the long 1-2s and countering well when JDM blitzes in, and if that happens, this will be a long night for him. I think most likely a late stoppage finish for Prates or a pretty clear decision win, either 48-47 or 49-46 is most likely for this fight. And those are my picks for UFC Perth, Della Maddalena versus Carlos Prates. Let me know what y'all thought about the picks. Let me know if y'all thought they were gas. Let me know if y'all thought they were ass. Either way, just let me know. And thank y'all for all the love on my prospect video. I really do appreciate it. And I will see y'all in the next one.